Did you ever stop to think that you can be your own Warren Buffett? I'm Raghi Horner, and I've been trading for 35 years, and I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can. The first thing we have to start off with is the mindset of longer-term account growth. This isn't day trading. This isn't swing trading. There's a time and place for that. But there's also another aspect of trading that you may not even realize that you're participating in. And there's a way that we can fine-tune those selections of what stocks or ETFs and the price at which you buy it by having a longer term mindset. So the first thing is, how are we deciding that we want to get into a stock or an ETF? Well, the first thing is maybe there's a headline, maybe there's a news story, maybe it's a stock you want to own. So then you're going to ask yourself, well, would I like to own it for the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 10 years? Well, the first thing we're going to ask is, why would I want to own it that long? Is it a dividend paying stock? Is it a stock that I think could triple or even quadruple in the next 5 or 10 years? So there's always got to be a reason. Well, that narrative really is the first step. Why do I want to own something? The second step is having the patience to do what Warren would do. How do I wait for that timing, that price at which I can have an advantage where instead of buying something at an all-time high, I wait for a pullback? See, that's kind of trading mentality. But wait, if I apply it to a weekly time frame, with say a 6 month to 1 year to maybe 5 year time horizon, all of a sudden I'm marrying the best of both worlds. I'm using the skills of a trader, selection of a stock or an ETF, and the timing or the price at which I want to buy with that power of the longer term mindset, that longer term time frame, once again of 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, heck, it could be 50 years, but it still can be a trade. What differentiates the two is instead of just arbitrarily buying, instead of just buying things because it's a certain time of month or a certain time of year, instead I'm looking at price. I'm doing what a trader would do. I'm asking myself, is this a good risk-reward ratio? Is this a price where I can really dig my heels in and hold it for the next 1 year or 10 years? The next thing I want to do is make sure that I'm not looking at a 1 minute chart or an hourly chart or a daily chart, but rather I'm looking at a weekly chart. This naturally slows things down. I'm getting one new candle per week rather than one new candle per day. Think of all the noise and the different types of headlines and just news that a weekly time frame can absorb. So rather than that emotional roller coaster that we know Warren Buffett is never on, right? How does he stay so calm and patient? It's the time horizon and the time frame. He's looking at far more slower moving price action. In fact, Warren Buffett said many times, he really only looks at the close. He's not worried about all the noise from 9:30 to say 3:30 or 3:45 p.m. He's really looking at the close, that last ending sentiment. So if we look at a weekly chart, all we care about is how does that week end? What did traders or investors think happened to that stock just on Friday? Imagine how much freer you are just to do other things and just realize I need to look at that stock maybe once a week. Now let's take another tack at it. If I'm now trying to beat the broader averages, because that's what Warren Buffett's known for. He beats the S&P. This is where, as a trading mindset applied to the longer term account growth goal, now I'm going to pick the very best stocks that can perform. So rather than dilute my portfolio with 500 stocks in the S&P, probably 400 of which really don't matter, I'm buying maybe 50 or 60 of the best performing, maybe even highest dividend yielding stocks there are. Think about this. Warren Buffett has hundreds of billions of dollars at work, and Berkshire Hathaway seldom has more than 50 holdings. So we're not talking about an intimidating type group of stocks where we're managing 200 or 300 stocks. That's diluting our money. The next thing we can do when we work on the timing, focus on a slower weekly time frame, now we're going to only look at the best of the best and give that the time to grow. These are the foundations. These are the building blocks of what makes Warren Buffett so great and why and how you can be your own Warren Buffett.